Hi guys, my name is Grant Tornberg, and for the Culture Dimension case study, I have chosen Afghanistan and South Korea. Here's some notes before we get going. Imagine living in a society where every decision you make reflects your family's reputation, or where saying no directly could be seen as disrespectful. That's daily life in both Afghanistan and South Korea. Today I'll be comparing these two cultures and explaining how Americans can adapt when interacting with people from these countries. We'll look at three main areas: individualism versus collectivism, power distance, and communication style. Over here on the right, you will see Afghanistan. It is located in South Central Asia with an estimate population of 40 million people. And on the right, South Korea, located in the Korean Peninsula in East Asia with an estimate population of 52 million. Fun fact, I lived in South Korea for 9 months while I was stationed in the Army, and the flight was 25 hours long. Horrible flight. This wasn't in the outline, but I just wanted to show you this maybe to get better understanding of the differences in Afghanistan and South Korea. On the right is Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and on the right is Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea. Afghanistan's GDP is 17.3 billion, while South Korea's GDP is 1.79 trillion. So Afghanistan's in the billions while South Korea's in the trillions. That's a big difference. Individualism versus collectivism. Both countries are collectivists, but people in Afghanistan put family, tribe, and honor above individual desires. Decisions are often made for the good of the group or tribe. South Korea is, but in a different way, collectivist. Loyalty to one's school, company, and family shapes a person's identity. Power distance. In Afghanistan, power distance is very high. Elders, tribal leaders, and authority figures are shown strong respect, and their decisions are rarely challenged. So as a leader in Afghanistan, if a leader says something, it's that way, or the highway, basically. No one's gonna, tell them that it's, wrong. In South Korea, also has a high power distance. People respect hierarchy, but in modern workplace and classroom, maybe teamwork and collaboration with leadership is more common. So the power distance is high, but not as high at Afghanistan, obviously. Respect for authority is essential in both countries. Afghanistan is more on the rigid side, while South Korea balances hierarchy with group cooperation. High versus low context communication. Afghanistan is a high context culture, meaning it is found in traditions, relationships, and nonverbal cues. Afghans may avoid direct refusals to protect honor. South Korea is also high context. Communication is indirect to avoid conflict and maintain harmony. Koreans will use indirect criticism or silence to signal disagreement. While being in Korea for 9 months, I have noticed that when communicating with South Koreans, while in conversation with them, if they disagree with something that you say, instead of saying no, they'll just look down at their feet and walk away. That's just, how the culture is. Adaptation strategies for Americans. Americans who are more on the individualistic side and low context should be mindful of group loyalty and family honor in Afghanistan. And as in South Korea, respect the hierarchy and indirect communication. While in South Korea, if there's a family walking by, immediately talk to the dad first. Don't, talk to the wife or daughter. That's seen as disrespectful. Focus on listening, patience, and reading nonverbal cues instead of being overly direct. If that family in South Korea is walking by you and they're looking at the ground, they don't want to talk to you. That's just the way that, nonverbal cues they have over there. Now, if the family's walking by you and they're looking at you, then, come up to the whoever the head figure of the family is and speak to them. Conclusion: Afghanistan and South Korea are alike in a few ways, as in they are both collectivist and they are high context. But on the power distance side, I would say Afghanistan is more rigid, like we said earlier, and South Korea, relies a little bit more on cooperation than Afghanistan. Adapting communication styles, Americans can build stronger relationships in both cultures. And that'll be it for today.